Okay, this video is just going to run you through the setup of the index and the appendix as well. And again, this is important as part of getting the marks for the producing a professional report. Okay, so first off, I'm going to start by adding these to my major headings section. So underneath evaluation, I'm going to type in index. I'm going to type in appendix as well. Okay. They both need to be heading 1 star, okay, because they're on equal importance with the other section headings. So if I just go back and sort that out, okay, so they're in heading 1. Now the index is really just a page. It's almost like a dictionary for jargon words that you might use in this report, okay, because obviously non-ICT users might read your report. You might use certain words that they might not understand. So in here, you treat it like a dictionary. So if you use any sort of technical language, you put the word and then maybe a brief overview so that someone could understand what that word's meant in context. Okay, so that's all the index is. It's basically going to be a list of words. It's something that you just need to bear in mind as you work your way through the report. Okay, the appendix is slightly different, and this is certainly an important part of your project. It's going to be the place where you store all the rough work that you do as part of this project. Okay, so any kind of hand-drawn sketching, notes, records of discussions that have taken place, all the kind of rough work that goes on behind the scenes, we put in the appendix. Okay, very often we talk about or write about the stuff in here in the main body of our report. But obviously the main body of the report is very kind of neat, it's well presented. We wouldn't really want kind of scrappy bits and notes and stuff in the main body. Okay, so the appendix is almost like your kind of dumping ground for that kind of information. Okay, how do you structure it? Well, I think it's best off in the initial setup if you kind of follow this. So I'm just going to type in appendix, appendix A, appendix B, etc. Okay, so you keep going like that. You don't have to use letters, you can use numbers if you want. That's just my choice here. Okay, similar thing, these are subheadings of the appendix section, so I'm going to put them into heading 2 style. And then appendix 1, well, for the majority of you it's going to be the notes from your interview, so I might just call that rough notes from interview. Okay, rough notes from interview, and in that section, that's where I would paste in, if I've got it, hopefully I have. Okay, that's where I would store that particular document there. Okay, so they're the notes from the interview that I conducted. If I went back up to my background, up to this section here, in my investigation techniques section, which is actually missing from here, so I need to add that in. Investigation techniques. Investigation techniques. Okay, heading 2. In this section, I would have that interview typed up in a kind of much more professional format. Okay. Also, when I'm referring to the appendix, you might want to refer to the appendix as you're writing this report. So, for example, in your current system, you might be describing some of the documentation that's used. As you're writing, you just need to put in brackets C appendix, and then it might be BC or whatever it is. Okay, but you can kind of reference the appendix as well as you're writing your main report, which is kind of what it's used for. Okay, so that is the appendix setup. Okay, so think of it as the place where you store and organise the kind of rough workings for your project.